First Grace. I went to my first dance party the summer before ninth grade. All of my friends and I got dressed up together. I looked like a 70s chick with my big hair and my burnt orange dress. With music blaring, we stepped into the apartment complex's welcome building. Glass walls shaking from the sound of the music and excitement welling up inside of all of us. We began to dance in a huddle, laughing and giggling. Brett Vaughn. Oh my gosh. He's walking towards us. No, he's walking towards me. Will you dance with me? My heart dropped into my chest. There were no words. I just followed him. We stopped in the dim-lit corner of the room, and he put his hands on my hips. For some reason, I imagined when a man came to ask me to dance, it would be more like Cinderella being asked by Prince Charming. Then they would dance elegantly and look into one another's eyes. His hands would be on the small of her back, and then they would live happily ever after. Then it hit me. This is a high school party. My eyes suddenly became open to this strange reality I should have been expecting all along. This isn't church, and you don't usually find princesses in parties. The people around me were dancing, full of desire and angst. "Do I look all right?" said Amber, flushed by all the noise and movement. We were surrounded by bodies, meshed together, moving back and forth. His eyes were fixated on me. I'd never danced with a boy before. He came toward me, and he put his hands on my hips. We swayed twice. Then I stopped. I'm sorry," I said. "I need to go to the bathroom." I turned, and I left to find a restroom. When I found it, I locked myself in the single stall, and I began hyperventilating, tears streaming down my face. My dad picked me up a half hour later. I began to spill the details of my night, searching for some form of affirmation. My innocence was showing. "Honey," he said, "you need to learn to loosen up. You live in fantasy land." 4 years later, and my dad had been gone for 3 months. Only 1 more month and he would be home. Why now? Why my senior year? Will I ever be enough for you to stay? Saline began to fill the belly of my crescent-mooned eyes, and tears flowed down the crevice of my collarbone. I think God intended for tears to soften, but the rains keep pouring, and the cracks of my heart will receive no comfort. I'd hoped for a relationship with him, but there was no ground, figuratively or physically, in existence for our paths to meet. Tears spilled out as my unspoken, unexpressed, unknown heart faced the reality. I can't make you love me. I can't make you call. I can't make you stay. He's 300 miles away, somewhere in Dubai, where toilet hose excrement from your buttocks so you don't have to wipe, and every delicacy is at your disposal. His email says, "He's living like a king." Dad, come home. One month later, and I leave my boyfriend's house. The drive home was numb, and it was heavy. I get into my room, turn on the shower, and I begin to take off my clothes. Our conversation begins to play in my head again as I see the bruises on my arms and my bottom. "Stop it, you're hurting me," I say unconfidently. Will he be mad at me if I'm really honest? It's hurting me. "Please stop it. I don't want this." "I don't believe you," he whispers back condescendingly. The hole inside of me widens, and I crumble to the floor, remembering and so ashamed. Why didn't I have the words? Why didn't I just throw him off of me? My Bible lies open under my bed, and I begin to read its pages. As my eyes sift the words, something begins to settle into my heart. An unknown grace enters me, and I begin to write. I was amongst all the temples, the upright in heart and pure, until the infernal serpent first seduced. Dove-like, he sat brooding on the vast abyss. Down, down he flew, stealing deep from my bed. With lofty thoughts, rash judgments, rooted within lust, trapped in ecstasy, I sang a mournful song. And soon I heard a roaring wind of man's first disobedience, and the fruit of that forbidden tree whose mortal taste brought death into the world, the lightning fell, one after one by the star-dogged moon, too quick for groan or sigh. Each turned his face with a ghastly pang, and cursed me with his eye. Never a saint took pity on me. My soul in agony, alone, alone, all alone. I look to heaven, and I try to pray. Amid the silence, I realize the dreary intercourse of life that I have lived. Living from joy to joy, wandering many years, I catch thy voice. My dear, the language of my former heart, former pleasures. May I be what I was once? No. Nor catch from wild eyes these gleams of past existence? No. Therefore, let the moon shine on thee in thy solitary walk. The woman hath penance. A spring of love gushed from my heart. I was forgiven.